Welcome to the Haven Exchange Podcast number 19, bringing you a brand new topic of discussion this week. And on this episode, the gang and I talk about ratings and reviews and discussing why they are so important to many people and explore the potential positive and negatives that go along with just a little bit of feedback or a lot of feedback, depending on who you are. But first, head on over to patreon.com/havenexchange to support the show. Your support on Patreon allows us to keep bringing you content each and every week while also giving you loads of perks like merch discounts and even personal shoutouts on the show, just like our amazing gold patron, Nerder She Wrote. Thank you for your continued support, Nerder. You are the best. And thank you to all of our current patron members. Did you miss last week's episode? We had a nice discussion on freedom of speech and if there is too much freedom in that amendment. So be sure to tune in case you missed it. Here is just a little snip of what you might have missed.
And you've seen so many countries that are operating without freedom of speech. And, you know, their country is fine. Like Canada does not have a freedom of speech. But they're fine as a country. They have probably one of the lowest crime rates in the entire planet. So
yeah, but there's other. I don't think that's only attributed to not the people that are talking. You know?
It's definitely not.
Does crime rates go up? Probably.
Right. No, I don't mean to make it seem like that. That's funny.
Oh, you stole a beaver, you bitch.
That was a pretty weird.
I don't know what that was. I'm 25%.
Now that you heard that, tune in every Wednesday to the Haven Exchange Podcast, available on Spotify and iTunes.
Now, let's get on with the episode, and remember to leave your review at the end of the show.
This is the Haven Exchange.
Nothing. I heard that click and looked over super quickly. Yep. No, you know what? I'll say it. I don't give a shit. I said I need to get my feet scrubbed. I need to go get I don't want to say the word because it's just kind of, no, fuck you. I'm going to go get a pedicure. I'm going to get my toes cleaned. And I'm going to get my foot scrubbed. And any man that thinks that they're too manly to get that done is stupid.
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with having clean feet.
Right. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, I'm down to go get I've never had one, but I would absolutely love to get my toes tickled.
Well, that's not what I said, though. Don't. That's not what I said. I'm not for that.
Is that not what they do?
No, they don't tickle. Wait, when you go, do they intentionally? Do you have them like tickle your feet?
Yeah, I drop her a $5 and like, hey, tickle them babies up.
Oh, you heard it here. Jen is into foot stuff.
Not in the way you would expect.
I don't know.
I did already mention that I have never had a pedicure before, so I already. But it seems like it would be cool, right? To get paper and shit.
Yeah, dude, it's dope. Now, I will say though, the very first time I got one, this was like 7-8 years ago. I was so uncomfortable because the dude just kept staring at me the entire time.
That dude had a foot thing
for sure. And it was my first time. I did
some sort of shit.
Right. I didn't want to go because I was naive back then, where I was like, I'm a man, like I'm not gonna. And so I was even worse when it was a man that was doing my feet. I'm like, oh god damn it!
He's just staring into your big eyes. You want some cucumber water, Rick?
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, he would not. And then he kept giving me like this little smirk. Like I'm looking at, I think I was with Jody at the time. I'm looking at her like, what's going on here? Like, is this one of those happy ending places, or what is this?
It's like when the tailor is like measuring your inseam, but then he cups your balls a little bit.
It's like, why?
Why are you smirking at me as you're like wiggling my pinky toe?
Yeah, like stop doing that. Like, is this like the new you put your foot underneath the bath stall to imply something? Are either of you familiar with that?
No.
You've never seen that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, yeah, it made me very uncomfortable.
As it should.
I mean, there's nothing against a man doing it. I just don't want it done to me from a man.
Well, RC, when you were a pedicure specialist, were you instructed to stare into the customer's eyes as you were rubbing their feet?
I was instructed to stare at something else below the belt waistline area.
Oh yeah, like focus on the penis.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you need to focus on. They probably had like a whole step-by-step
No. Rick, stop.
They have like the poster of the, male and female anatomy. They got a ruler pointing at the dotted line, like this is where you gotta go. And there's a whole class in RC's like, I'm gonna ace this test.
Right. It's like this is the pressure point. This is the male G spot. This is where you need to make sure that this is where you can get maximum satisfaction.
Oh god.
And it's totally appropriate to accept additional compensation if the customer wishes a little tickle.
Oh my! What's up with you and tickling, man?
It's just a funny word.
Is that what that is? I don't think that's what it is. I think you're trying to tell us something.
What? No.
I think Jen is trying to tell us something. All right, everyone listening, when we inevitably have the Gen Con, just make sure you got no open toe shoes. Keep all that shit on the wraps.
The fact that you call it Gen Con. Kind of
right? Yeah, right.
Did I call it Gen Con?
Yeah, that kind of hurt me a little bit. Yeah.
I meant GH Con.
I wasn't going to stop.
We don't fucking matter.
Gen Con all the way. It's right next door to GH Con. Free foot massages.
Oh, God, that sounds awful. It's just you sitting there and then you got your nipples out and just
okay.
That's a horrible.
Welcome to the Haven Exchange, everybody. Where each and every week we talk about a brand new topic and sometimes deep dive into pedicures, pedicures, and manicures. I'm your host, Genesis_GH on the Twitches, but here I am, just Genesis. Find me on Gen Con.
2022 coming soon.
2022, yes. And as you can already hear, we got our fellas here. Big RC, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Just enjoying its banter with you a-holes right now. But recently just got done watching Godzilla vs. Kong, and a close friend of ours kind of spoiled the movie for me. So yeah, I'm not going to be following him on Facebook anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, you said who spoiled it?
A close friend of ours, Bomb Your Chick. I'm not gonna put him out there, but if people heard our previous,
Kurt, that motherfucker.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, so what's his name? Yeah,
or AKA Rosie O'Donnell.
Definitely spoiled it, and I don't know if he realized it or just didn't care, but yeah. So.
I'm trying to think what could be spoiled by that.
Well, hold on, because me and like
probably
some viewers out there who are
like don't answer the question, but I'm like trying to think. Don't worry, Rick's not going to see it until like 2050. So
I'm going to watch it today. Actually,
okay.
Thank you.
Just ain't watching that shit today. This motherfucking lying.
Man, take his word for it, man.
Anyways, that's Rick, by the way.
Yes. How's it going? I haven't seen any new movies recently, but I have been catching up on my Law and Order SVU because I saw Detective Stabler is coming back.
Bum bum. Is it that?
I'm not doing the song. I'm not doing it. but yeah, I've been doing that and catching up on my backlog of games. Just beating all the games that I should have beaten years ago. Speaking of which, I didn't tell you, but the newest game that I beat was Bayonetta 2.
Oh, very nice.
Yep, I played it when it first came out. Got very close to the end when you were in the mechs, and I just never finished that final boss. So I went back, turned it on, killed the boss in 5 minutes, and was like, "Oh, I can delete that now."
Now, did you finish this on the Wii U or the Switch?
The Switch.
Okay, then I mean you definitely got to check out that co-op part of it later on.
Yes.
Oh, that's co-op.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that co-op is awesome.
Who does the second player play as?
The boy, right? The black dude with the cornrows.
I'm thinking either him or her sister.
Oh, right.
With the long white hair, I'm guessing. John, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Was
that added later, or was that always part of it?
I think that was always part of it, honestly, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, it was always part of it. It was even on the Wii U version.
Now, could Switch play with Wii U?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Would have been nice.
It would have been nice, yeah. And I think the Wii U eShop is actually still up and running. So, but I doubt you can play the two together.
I feel like, but multiplayer on Nintendo products are terrible, isn't it?
It's usually very weird, yeah.
It depends on the game, but yeah,
Like y'all play Mario Kart all the time, and like you have to input everybody's friend code. Even do you even have friends lists?
Yeah, you have friends lists, and the voice chat is through the a mobile app on your phone.
Yeah, so this is why I was in Discord.
Yeah, that's why
a mobile app.
Yeah, you have to download the Nintendo Online app on your phone, and then if the game supports voice chat, then you would just voice chat through your phone. Yeah, it's Nintendo, man. Come on, like it's 2021. And those assholes are in 2019.
Yeah, but why are they getting such a pass?
I don't know. It's Mario, bro.
Well, and it's Nintendo too.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo is like that. No, I'm not going to make that comparison because that's awful. But Nintendo, they always get a free pass when it comes to technology because they're always behind. But they also make the most, like, their games are always 100% good quality. Like, they don't have bugs, they don't have glitches like that. Mm-hmm. It's like Nintendo is the Apple of the video game space.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. It's good. It's not the newest technology. It's not the greatest, but it's good at what it does. Aside for their online is garbage. But
yeah, that's what blows my mind. I mean, you see some of these indie titles that come out where it's built by like 2 to 5 people, and then you get everybody shitting on it because there's no like in-game voice chat or proximity chat or any of these like things that we've all come to expect as gamers playing on Xbox, PlayStation, even PC gaming. And then Nintendo just scooting by, just like, nope, we ain't got no sort of functionality or friendly user experience when it comes to playing with your friends. Yeah. And maybe they just expect it to be a solo experience. They're probably still in the like toy space mind where like, this is my toy. I'm just going to play with my toy by myself.
Yeah. Although, well, see, you would think that, but one of the main draws of the Switch is being able to play it with other players with like a tabletop type. I think they call it tabletop mode actually.
Yeah,
where you pull out the kickstand and each person uses a Joy-Con.
Right. It's like a board game. So you're like there with your friends in the room. So there's no need for voice chat, right?
That's true. That is true. They very well now this Nintendo Switch Pro.
Don't even talk about that fucking Pro, man.
You need to get a Switch.
I want to hear it.
Mario Kart. You need to catch these.
I was just telling RC before you hopped in the call that I went to go buy one last night and they're sold out everywhere again.
Damn.
Scalpers, man.
Yeah, I remember when the Switch.
It is scalpers,
dude. I had the original Switch, loved it, but then when they came out with that version 2 with the extended battery life and everything,
felt like a dick, didn't you?
Well, not necessarily because I had the Switch for 3 years before that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But, so I had it a long time, but I wanted to get one right around when the pandemic first started. And it was impossible to find one at first. And I just got lucky walking through a Target and they just happened to have one.
Oh, shit.
They're like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, swiggity swooty.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
that was all right. DSP, go ahead and edit that out. Just take care of that.
Oh, well, so you mentioned Kong versus Godzilla, and well, I guess Bayonetta 2 I could throw into this segue here. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the positive and negatives of reviews in all forms of media. And RC, did you see any reviews on Kong vs. Godzilla before going into watching the movie?
Actually, I have not.
Well, I was just going to ask, is that normal for you to not really pay attention to reviews?
Yeah, if it's a movie that looks interesting to me personally, I'm not going to really look at reviews first. I'm going to go in and see what it is with an open mind, and then go back and see other people's reviews afterwards. And to this day, I still haven't seen nobody reviews on Godzilla vs. Kong yet. Mostly when I'm seeing on social media, most people, like 98% of people I've seen on there, like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think same thing. Most of the reviews that I've seen for it haven't been favorable. There was that one GameSpot review that came out before the movie came out, and people on Twitter lit GameSpot up for this. The tweet basically said something to the effect of, if you were looking for Godzilla vs. Kong to be a deep story-driven movie, this ain't it. And people were like, well, yeah, the movie is called it's not about humans. It's not about like Godzilla's not going to say something like, do you really want to go home, Kong? You know, it's not going to be a deep conversation.
Right.
They're monsters. They're gonna destroy each other.
That's interesting though. So it's not often that you see the base public attacking general reviews. It's every so often you see that, but it doesn't come up that much. That leads me to believe that sometimes reviews are in sync with public opinion.
Yeah.
I guess pulling this back kind of high level, the main topic of this is what are the positive and negatives of reviews, and kind of talking about this in general. It sounds like RC, you don't let it affect your influence of a movie going into it, or any sort of media going into it beforehand. Rick, what is your experience with reviews and how do you take them in?
I want to add that as well, but I'm going to let Rick go first.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
for me, because typically with reviews, I'm more on the game side of things in the game industry.
All right.
For movies, obviously we know my history with movies, so we'll leave it at that. But
let me read this review of Gone with the Wind, and before I watch it right now.
I typically don't follow movie reviews, but game reviews, usually with those, I like if it's something that I know I want to play. I'll try to stay away from reviews. But if it's something that I'm not sure about, like if it's like Outriders is a perfect example that just came out. I played the demo for it or whatever, and it was interesting, but I didn't know anything about it, and I was kind of hesitant to shell out $60 on it. It just so happened to come out on Game Pass, so now I couldn't care less what the reviews are. It's a free game essentially, so I don't care what the reviews say or not.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do follow reviews if it's a game that I'm not sure about.
And to influence your purchase?
More to see if there's a video game coming out that I'm not sure about, and I just for some reason missed out on any sort of marketing for it. Like if I didn't see any gameplay videos, I typically try to just go on YouTube, look up some gameplay, see what it plays like, and that will kind of sway my decision. But then occasionally, like I'll check out the IGN or Easy Allies or something like that, and
I know both of y'all shit on IGN reviews.
Oh, too much. 7.8, too much water.
I want to talk about that case specifically, but we can bring that up again later.
The only reviews that I really stick to are primarily Easy Allies or occasionally Maximilian Dude. Maximilian Dude is the only one that doesn't really give a hard number for his reviews. It's more, and same thing with Kind of Funny Games, where they don't give numbers. They just kind of, hey, this is what the game is about. This is what we liked about it. This is what we didn't like about it. And you decide from there whether or not you want to try it.
Yeah.
Easy Allies does numbers, but they do like a 5 out of 5 scale, I think it is. But
well, the numbers are only there typically for any sort of reviews is just as a TLDR. If you don't want to read the impressions in detail. I mean, even going all the way back to Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs up, that was their number. And people either had to know that to know if that was a movie they wanted to watch. And even back in the day, like, remember how influenced Siskel and Ebert were for fucking movies?
Yeah.
They made or broke movies with their reviews, which is crazy that these 2 dudes were like basically running Hollywood.
Yeah, I think like with the number system, I used to have a big problem with the number system for the longest time because you'd see so many people be like, "Bro, it got a 7. 7's a garbage." It's like,
that was me saying that.
Of course, it was you. but like 7s aren't garbage. It's like it's a decent to good
out of 100.
No, this guy, this fucking guy. No, 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
you know. Or one thing that you said about reviews a minute ago was reviews tend to kind of go along with the general public. That can be, but sometimes it's not necessarily the case with the game industry because when a game comes out that everyone is excited for, and if any publication gives it a bad review, it's automatically denounced as, oh, you're clickbaiting, you're clout chasing or whatever. And they may have valid points as to why they gave the game a lower score. I'm trying to think of the most recent game where everyone loved it, but reviewers were kind of indifferent on it. Death Stranding, actually. Shout out, Justin. But Death Stranding was another one where everyone was excited for it because they didn't know what it was. Then when it came out, I think GameSpot gave it a decent score, but in their review, they were kind of like, it's boring. They were like, this is not like the first 6 hours are boring as shit. You have to push through it. And people were rough to them on Twitter.
I feel like the reviews were getting, I thought it was getting like 10 out of 10s when it came out.
Some places gave it 10 out of 10s, yeah. But there were definitely a few that gave it like 6 out of 10s. And
they were harsher on it.
Yeah. Well, because there are people that like Legend of Zelda. There's a real thing where Zelda gets an uptick in scores because it's Zelda.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I stand by Breath of the Wild is not the best Zelda game at all. It's good.
No,
but
it's a link to the past, but yeah.
Right. It has flaws. it has its flaws. That's a whole different topic.
I know.
And we have to have Sage here for that one.
Yep.
But that's gonna be an argument for hours. I'm not looking forward to that one.
The longest episode ever, next to the Witcher episode.
I can't wait for the Witcher episode. It's just gonna be an hour of me, fanboying.
Yep. We won't be there, RC. Don't worry.
Oh no, you will be. You will be. This is the Haven Exchange where there are 3 of us. So.
It's supposed to be an exchange of ideas, not a straight path of fandom.
No, it's an exchange of my knowledge to your ears. That's the exchange.
God damn it. He loopholed me.
But yeah, I think people were it depends on what you're looking for a review. I would say don't go for a review if you're just looking to solidify your opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would go for something that you don't
telling
know.
Us how to use reviews?
No, I'm saying you're right. That did sound like a direction, but no, do what you want. I don't give a shit. But what I'm saying is, I think the most effective way to get the most out of a review is to go into it with an open mind, like RC said.
Yeah.
Don't do. If you've already played a game and you love it, I wouldn't go to a review to see what they say.
Yeah.
You know, I would look at the review first and then see for yourself.
Yeah, I want to pass the torch back over to RC to give your experience with reviews outside of just Kong vs. Godzilla and how you utilize that as a tool, if you do at all.
So with me, what I would do, honestly, if it's a movie I know that's going to be good or it's part of a series of movies that came out previously that I enjoyed, I'm automatically going to give that new one a chance. If it's something that I'm questioning, I'm not too sure about, then I will probably dip into the non-spoiler reviews just to see what everybody's talking about.
Has that often changed your mind as far as giving something a shot? after
few
reading something
times.
like that? Yeah.
A few times. And if I do end up changing my mind, I mean, there's plenty of other content for me to watch. So it's like
Yeah.
whoever like produces these TV shows or movies or games or whatever, yeah, definitely be careful in a sense, man, because you can put out this hot trailer and then all of a sudden, when I see gameplay, that don't look right, and then when I see the reviews come in, it's gonna change my mind. Matter of fact, that happened recently. What was that game called? I was trying to put you on that looked good. It was like Apocalypse, like the werewolf something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had my eye on that game for a while because the trailer actually looked really good. I'm into werewolves and everything, and they come out of the game with that. And then all of a sudden, I'm starting seeing gameplay. And then I think you brought up to me where you told me like, "Oh man, like the reviews coming in for this game, and it don't look too good." Like what? I don't believe that. So I started looking at gameplay myself, and then I started looking at reviews. I'm like, yeah, man, this game ain't what I thought it was going to be. It's kind of like just like the normal hack and slash, move on, more hack and slash, move on, and like, it's like that's it.
Right. And it sounds like you kind of
Earthblood.
What was that?
Werewolf the Apocalypse, Earthblood.
Oh yeah. I do remember talking about that now. And it seems like you kind of had a hesitation from the review at the start of it, which sent you to look up gameplay and stuff on your own to see if the two kind of coincided in your head. Between a low score and your general opinion on, I mean, essentially you're a gaming expert because you've been playing games your entire life.
Okay, yeah.
And you know your style that you enjoy, so you can take the feedback of a person who is put in place to put a review, which, I mean, that's another thing we should probably talk about, what it takes to actually review games and be credible in that sense to be
like
in that
deeper thought into this. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going over there and doing that one day.
Yeah, because it's like, obviously reviews are out there because people are reading them and they can be influential. I mean, it kind of influenced you a little bit. It at least gave you additional ammo to maybe pass on that game. So I don't know if you're going to actually try Werewolf still just to give it a feel.
Well, the way that the Xbox Game Pass has been working out for us for a while, I would not be surprised if it showed up on there one day. So I'm just going to wait.
For sure. I'm in the exact same boat with Werewolf where I really wanted to try it, but just from the gameplay videos I've seen of it, it does not look like a $50 game.
Yeah.
I think it was on sale at one point for $28, but same thing. That's the type of game that will be on Game Pass at some point. So I'll just wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm probably, out of the three of us, I probably read reviews the most and allow them to influence me in a lot of ways. For me, I mean, I think I used it as a tool to influence my purchases and influence the time allocation that I'm going to spend on different games. My time is fucking valuable. You know what I'm saying? So I got like little amount of time, and there's so much content out there, like RC mentioned, that to be able to play it all is just unrealistic. So I have to find a way to to make that process faster in determining what I'm going to spend my time on. So when it comes to reviews, I totally use that. And that's probably not the best way, because I'm sure using that system, I've missed a lot of real gems that I personally would like. I mean, the thing with gaming and why we see a lot of what's the word? Divisiveness?
Divisiveness?
Yeah.
Divisiveness?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody's gonna fucking correct the fuck out of me though. In their review of the Haven Exchange episode number 19. This stupid bitch Genesis.
These assholes don't know how to speak, they don't know how to read. Oh my goodness.
But see, with gaming, everybody has their own take from what they get from out of a game, whether it's escapism or, you know, some people just like to adventure, some people just like great combat. You know, there's all these different parts that make up a game that each of us have our own individual needs when it comes to that. So when it comes to reviewing something like that, that doesn't take into account the individual, I am reluctant to say that I use reviews to be a tool of my influence, when I have no idea who that fucking writer is, and they might not play games the same as I do. But when I see a 4 or a 5, I go, nope, that's not even going to be worth my time to even give it a chance. which is bad, which isn't good, because like I said, I'm missing probably some great gems.
And I'm glad you said that, because I learned that there was a specific game. I think it was Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, right? Where reviews were coming out for it, and that was one where I loved Human Revolution. I adored that game. Genesis, actually, you and I think, worked together when that came out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember that I was super excited for it, because it flew under the radar. Had no idea. I knew it had previous games in the series, but it wasn't something that I grew up with. So I had no connection to it. But the main character, he reminded me so much of a specific character that I won't name. He reminded me so much of that character, where I was just like, I have to try this.
Snake! No, there's a snake that just went past my feet.
This guy. But when Mankind Divided was coming out, I really wanted to play it. I was super excited for it. And then I saw a review from GameSpot. I know I keep bringing them up, but there was a review from GameSpot, and I think they gave it like a 7.5. And I remember being in that same crowd. I was kind of annoyed, like, man, this is a great game. Like, or not a great game, but the first one was awesome. And then I did a little digging, come to find out the person who reviewed it typically doesn't review open world games. He usually does like linear. And one of his biggest frustrations was the open world felt unnecessary, which is, I think that's very silly to say in the first place.
Right.
But GameSpot gives a lot of gems with their reviews. Like when they said Fallout 4 felt like an open wasteland, and they were using that as a negative. Like, he was like, the world feels empty. Like, what? That's the point of
an open wasteland.
Exactly. That's the point. So that's how that we talked about it already. The 7.8 Too Much Water. I won't say her name because she's kind of weird about it, and people kind of gave her a lot of shit for that.
Oh yeah, no, that's a gaming meme now. If you want to explain it a little bit for those that may not know.
So if anyone's aware of Pokemon, I think it was it Omega Ruby? I think it was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They were remakes of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire from I think it were Game Boy Advance, but they were remakes for the DS or the 3DS. And basically, this reviewer worked at IGN, and she gave it a 7.8. And one of her negative reasons for giving it a 7.8 was it had too much water. Now, wait
a minute, I thought this was for Wind Waker.
No, that was it was originally Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which, first of all, if it was for Wind Waker, that would be just beyond stupid.
Well, that's what I thought it was. That's why I thought it was even worse, because Wind Waker is a water world.
Literally 90% of the game is on that boat.
That's why they said it was like too much water.
Yeah. No, this is for Pokemon. And now, when you just look at that, you see pros, cons, and at one of the cons says too much water. You look at that and go, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. That you give a game a lower score because it has too much water. What does that mean? But when you actually dive into what she actually meant, she meant that because the game was taking place it's a series of islands. And a lot of way of getting around these islands is your Pokemon have to learn the surf technique, and you have to surf on your Pokemon to get between places. So what she meant was, it's annoying because you have to go up to the water, you have to open the menu, you have to select the Pokemon that knows surf, you have to choose surf just to start moving. If she had just, instead of saying too much water, if she would have said something else, like it's annoying to use surf, or I don't know, anything else, I feel like this wouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah.
But because she simplified it with too much water, and I get it, because she's already said before, she meant it as kind of like a little funny thing. She did not mean it in the sense of, oh, there's too much water everywhere. Oh, that's not how she meant that.
Right. And the internet savages just jumped on it and memed the hell out of it.
Exactly. They ran with it because the internet doesn't. They're ruthless. Listen, they're very ruthless. But I'm defending her a little bit now. But she also did another review that was a little like with Days Gone for the PS4.
Okay.
she said that she gave the game a lower score than expected because it had cheesy writing.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the cheesy writing she said was cheesy it was conversations that men really do have with their wives. Like the guy was saying stuff like when they were getting married, and one of the wife's lines was, I'll love you forever if you promise to ride me like you ride your Harley, or some shit like that. And I mean, it's a little corny, but it's also corny shit that people say when they're in love.
Yeah.
You know? So it all goes back to just be careful with reviews.
Mhm.
Don't let it sway you, because you never know. You could get some asshole reviewing Fallout 4 and all he's ever played is Madden every year.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You don't want to listen to someone like that about that particular topic.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I still use it to, like, whether or not, even if like I said, the numbers are a TLDR, I'll scroll through and see the number, and it will totally influence me, like I said, because of the time. If I don't even have the time to read the review, and I just like, hey, let me get a quick. Now, I won't say that's the end all be all. If it's like a Fallout type, like Fallout 76, that shit got pretty terrible scores too. But it's Fallout, so I know that, like you said, RC, if it's a series you're already familiar and you'll generally sway to your personal opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, one thing, though, you should be on the other side of not listening to someone who only plays like Madden reviewing Fallout 76. On the flip side, you also may not want to listen to someone who's deeply in love with, like, take me, for instance, right? Okay. I'm going to bring it up now, so fuck you. But I am deeply in love with Metal Gear Solid, right? Yeah. And so you ask people who are in love with Metal Gear Solid, they'll probably tell you Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, is probably one of the greatest games ever made, right?
Well, yeah, and you're more likely to leave out and forgive any sort of negative thing based on your biasness towards the game and the series as a whole. I know anything with fucking zombies, I'm gonna fucking love that shit.
Right.
And I'll probably forgive things a lot easier than RC would.
Right. Like a lot of the forgiveness I gave Cyberpunk 2077 is because I love CD Projekt Red for giving me The Witcher 3. Like, in my opinion, CD Projekt Red did so great with Witcher 3. I was very blind to Cyberpunk issues, but now, to be fair, I did not have anywhere near as many glitches as some other people have had.
Yeah.
Like when I played it on PC, but I did not have issues at all.
Or you saw it in your mind subconsciously is like, nope, I'm not going to recall this because it's not affecting my love for this series.
Right. That's why you got to be careful.
He lost his save data. He's like, nope, that's a feature.
No, and I don't want to admit it. And I know I'm about to get fucking crucified from like Kurt and them, but the reason why you shouldn't take my word for certain game series is because I'm that type of fan where if I like something enough, I will absolutely own it on as many consoles as possible.
Yeah.
So like Cyberpunk, I own it on all of them.
Yeah.
PS5, Series X, and PC.
I don't get it.
All the Mass Effects, I own on everything. All the Metal Gears, I own on everything.
We'll just add that to the list of quirks. Okay.
And I've actually played like Mass Effect. I played all the Mass Effects in all of the systems that I own them for. Now, Mass Effect is a little different because obviously you can play it multiple different ways, right? But Metal Gear, point A to point Z is the exact same, no matter what you do.
RC, do you think you check reviews more on video games than you do movies, or is it kind of split in the way you handle them?
No, I definitely check reviews more on video games compared to movies.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could usually gauge a movie pretty well just by the trailer alone.
Well, the thing with movies, I feel like one thing I lack, or even, I wouldn't say lack, but just don't give a shit about is heavy criticism when it comes to movies. Okay. When it's like, oh, the story wasn't so deep, or they didn't allow development of character X, or, the allegory that they're trying to tell on this, like getting really deep into the super meta details and then giving a shitty review on it. Sometimes
like everybody's a fucking critic now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly where that where that term comes from. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times with movies for me, when I watch something that's maybe not the blockbuster summer explosion fiesta movie, some of the more stranger storytelling ones,
All right.
I like to go back and read the review after the fact to either almost essentially have a conversation about what I just watched with the person that's also reviewing it, reading their thoughts as they describe the movie and all the points, and thinking about like, oh, you know what? I actually never thought about that take on this scene or something like that.
Yeah.
And you have this conversation in your mind as you're reading this stuff, like, oh, okay, yeah, no, actually, I disagree with that, or I agree with that. Even just like the water cooler chats when we used to have non-binge shows that we could talk to somebody about the episode the next day, and you review your experience through that. It's a little bit different with video games because there's a lot more time and things involved in a video game. When you talk about a movie or a TV show, you got a half hour to maybe 2.5 hours worth of material to really go through, and it's all compacted in your mind too.
Yeah.
So definitely when it comes to like movies and storytelling, I'm not a huge critic when it comes to that, but I do enjoy reading it after the fact for reactions or similar experiences that I had as a moviegoer. Even when it comes to like watching reaction videos on YouTube for like music, like songs that I enjoy, watching somebody else experience it for the first time and then giving their take on it to see if I agree, or just even seeing somebody's excitement at the same content level that I am excited about.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you on that. I usually go through that. I don't want to call it phase, but like after I get done watching something, I'll usually go back and read other people's opinion on the movie, especially something that I didn't expect that was going to be like so amazing. And see what they had to say, and then I pick up on like things I haven't noticed in the movies or in that particular movie. They're like, oh man, I didn't think about it like that. So yeah, like maybe I'll go back and rewatch it and everything, and some asshole will make a smart ass comment, and I'll sit there and have to correct them. I know at minute 45 and 18 seconds, this is what happened, and this is what they have said and shit, and then like they don't say nothing else and everything. So I usually do that only for those certain types, but. Yeah, forever there's gonna be like a pro and con about these damn reviews. Now, what we should cover is those who troll reviews or try to bomb them to make sure the movie don't do well.
Yeah,
now, I think to me that's fucking petty as shit.
Oh, super petty.
The games industry is riddled with that. Like Fall Guys, when that was huge. Although that may be a bad example because. Okay. They were review bombing Fall Guys because the servers didn't work. So, I mean, is it technically review bombing if the main function of the game is online connectivity? You cannot play the game without online connectivity. So if you bought this game for $20 and it doesn't work, I think you have a right to vocalize that, hey, I paid $20 for a game that I can't play. You know what I mean? So I get that. But then you get other Call of Duty, was it Advanced Warfare? I don't know if you remember when that was coming out. That was right around the time the whole Infinity Ward situation.
Oh, wait. Isn't that the first Call of Duty that came out on Xbox One?
I think so. Yeah, I think Advanced.
The futuristic one with like the jump packs?
Yeah, it was Kevin Spacey and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That was the first one. Because that came out right as the new consoles were coming out.
Right.
And yeah. People crucified it on YouTube. I mean, it had so many downvotes and stuff like that. But a lot of that was purely driven because people were upset about the way Infinity Ward that whole situation was brewing with the creators, Vince Zampella, that eventually made Titanfall. So, I mean, it's very bad in the games industry. And it's just horrible in movies, too. I mean, you see movies getting negative scores or downvotes and stuff just because people are mad with, like, Captain Marvel. People are pissed about Brie Larson for some reason because she said the movie wasn't for white men. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, well, she didn't say the movie wasn't for white men. She said it's the target audience is not white men. The target audience is for something else, you know? And it's like, what's wrong with that? Everything has a target audience. Yeah. Everything has a target audience. So they crucified it for that reason.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting is that there's different avenues of reviews that you can take a path down. You can either go to the individual level, people that have been appointed the role of being in a position to give their take on it. And then you also have the public side when it comes to like, is that like the Metacritic scores and all that type of shit?
Yeah.
Where like the general public is upvoting or downvoting, or it's influencing some sort of meter based on the stars given or shit like that. So that which side is better? Do you trust the public or somebody that's been appointed to give a quote unbiased review?
Ooh, man.
Yeah,
It's I don't want to say it's hard, but I want to say it definitely depends. Like, I won't say personally, but like, do I know this person who give this unbiased review on a movie compared to like what the majority of people who may enjoy that type of genre, what they have to say? I mean, it definitely depends on the situation.
Yeah, and I think that's proven by, I think we give more power to the public's opinion when it comes to product reviews on, say, Amazon.
Okay.
Like if I'm going to buy this chair, how often are you reading the public's opinion versus somebody that's been appointed to review that chair? It's probably easier to get the public opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, yes.
Well, in
and
some
you
cases,
don't apply that to video games or movies.
Well, I think it's a healthy balance to get both, because a lot of times, like Amazon, you go on Amazon and a lot of the reviews are just dumbass user errors. Like, I thought this chair could hold 800 pounds. Like, well, okay, well, that's your fault,
sir.
You know,
like jump off a bridge.
Sir. Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's the same thing with games. Like, if you bought Destiny 2 thinking it was a single player experience, but you didn't do your due diligence to find out that information, is it really the gamers? I mean, I'm sorry, is it the game company's fault for not telling you, or is it your fault for not doing just a little bit of research?
Yeah.
Well, Rick is a known victim blamer, so
oh my god, please don't say that. I am not a victim blamer. Anybody listening to this, I believe all women. Okay, I don't know what he's getting at.
Whoa, it didn't even have to go down that road.
I don't know what you're implying there, but let me defend myself.
Well, no, you constantly say like, oh, like you brought up Tenet as an example. True. Where you said people that gave it low scores, or even personal people that you discussed the movie with, said they didn't get it, and you're like, well, that's your fault for not understanding the story.
Yeah. Well, I still kind of stand by that. Like, if you're gonna sit and text on your phone the whole time the whole movie's on, well, then of course you don't understand the movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna sit there and be like, what's happening? What are they doing? Why are they? Then of course you're not gonna understand it. That's your fault. That's not the movie's fault.
Right. But I mean, can a story be too convoluted?
You're talking to a guy who loves.
Yeah, that's right.
So why would you ask me that question?
Well, okay. So now here's a question: when it comes to public opinion, and do you think when it comes to video games and movies, people are, generally speaking, either A, way more passionate than they would be on, say, a product review, and are they more than likely to, because of the passion, give both positive and negatives versus just, say, a general piece of product, physical product, where people tend, I think in my opinion, more people would only take the time to write a review if it's a negative on just a simple product, a chair or a table or a blender or whatever. Do you think to boil it down, are people more likely to leave a positive review from the public standpoint on digital media like video games and movies?
RC, I'll let you take that one.
I don't know. Shit. I don't know.
Well, you, RC, I know you write a lot of reviews just for because you can explain why you do that, because we talked about this a little bit before, and I think your reasoning behind it was worth mentioning.
Yeah. So with me, when I usually write reviews, they're usually about products. I may have written a few reviews on video games, and usually on those, it would be a negative review if I had to sit there and express my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but most of the time it's mainly about products, and it's mainly about products for me to ensure that the company knows how I felt about it and make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else, because I usually maybe had like a negative reaction with it, in a sense.
Sure.
So
what you're saying is you're a hero for the people.
Right. That's
I contribute to society somehow in other ways.
Well said.
Yeah. So yeah.
but when you have a good experience, you not
I would do the
really
same thing.
inclined. Okay.
No. I would definitely do the same thing, especially if something like brand new that nobody really don't know about. Or if I go to that fast food drive-through and the fry girl hook me up with like another case of fries and shit. Yeah. I'll like give her like a shout out and everything and try to find her phone number and whatnot. But yeah, that's no story for no time. But yeah, so yeah, like I would definitely like, yeah, I do write positive reviews too. But I hate to admit it now I think about it. I think the majority of the time when I do write reviews, they're usually negative.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, I think every time that I've heard you ever mention a review of any kind, it's usually because they did something to piss you off.
Yeah.
This is literally, okay, I'm going to say it. RC is the black male Karen.
No, man, don't put me in the category. No.
I've heard this man go off on some people. I know it's valid reasons he's going off. I shouldn't call you a Karen because you at least have an excuse, and it's a valid reason why you're upset. It's not like you're pissing people off just to be that asshole.
Right.
But you will vocalize when you're upset. Yes. You will say, "Hey, why didn't you put pickles on here?"
Oh, hey, man, you know how petty is like.
There's supposed to be 2.5 pickles.
Right. This 6 foot or this 6-inch sub sandwich is actually 5.5. I need that extra half an inch.
Stat.
1 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, but like Rick said, though, man, yeah, I will speak up and vocalize how I feel about something, but I wouldn't try to be rude about it. I'll just let them know, hey, this is what happened. I think you guys need to do this, and I think things will work out better for you.
Yeah,
and it's up to them whether they want to take my opinion or not.
Sure, so, but I mean, if anybody else is reading that, they will take that just the way we're expressing how we utilize reviews, and will form their opinion based off of that. But at least you're giving them some ammo to use or not use, and you're being obviously responsible enough to kind of go unbiased in it.
Yeah.
But that also means that there's going to be lots of motherfuckers out there that are not being responsible with their words. Tune into the previous episode, Freedom of Speech, to explore further that topic. But that, I mean, if we're only inclined to really write something based off of a negative experience, then reviews are essentially, I mean, all they are is kind of shit talking the thing, and we don't see any sort of positives of it. And I guess what video games and movies and content in that camp, it's directed to a particular audience, I think, who dive into that content in such a way that it can be a little bit more open and it's more objective based than actual like utility of a product. Like, does it work? Yes or no? And then, no, okay, it didn't. What didn't work? And there's kind of a yes, no checks and balances thing when it comes to using a product versus a story. Like, a story can mean something to you and it can mean something completely different to me.
Somebody else, yeah.
So it's interesting that how much we take straight up face value of some of these reviews and how it can influence us in our purchase or even just the way we think about something. I mean, there's been tons of movies I've watched where I was like, I didn't really feel that until I talked about it with somebody else or read the review on it, and it sort of put the pieces in place. Like, I get it. Okay, so now even post watching a movie, I can get my mind changed on whether I thought it was good or not, just based on, like, I don't know, just having a conversation or reading an article about certain things. It tends to be more with movies than it does with video games for me. Movies, I have a hard time sometimes formulating my thoughts on it because I'm so not heavy critical on it. I generally will like any movie I watch. I couldn't even really name just movies that were just straight up garbage that I would never recommend to somebody.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? I can kind of agree with that because any movie that I can't think of a single movie where I was like, this movie was absolute garbage and I would never watch it again, but I know a ton of people who would say that about everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know how much the people are going to hate me for this, but I actually enjoyed Batman v Superman. I didn't think it was bad at all. But
I mean, could you point out bullet points of like, I wish they did this differently, or this was actually not great, or are you straight up, no, it's fine, I don't really care to comment any further. It was just, it is what it is.
I think that's more of where I stand because Jen, you and I have had this conversation before where I get why other people do it, but when I look at a movie, I'm not looking at the movie to see what I would envision. I'm looking at that person is telling a story. I want to see what they're telling me. You know what I mean? Like
coming from the guy that got mostly influenced by Alpha Dog. Says he doesn't give a shit about the details.
Well, no, I'm saying like when I watch a movie, I'm not watching typically. Okay, I'm not saying every scenario. I'm not saying every single movie, but most of the time when I watch a movie, I'm not watching it to be like, well, why did they pick him to do that, or why did he do that? You know what I mean? This is the story they wanted to tell, and then I'll critique it based on that. Mm-hmm. You know, but as far as like a movie where I'm like, I wish they did that, or I wish they did this, there are none that come to mind right this moment. But
are you open to explore those areas after you've watched it? Say if we were to have a deep dive discussion on Batman vs Superman, do you think your mind would be open to some of the negatives that people could outline in a logical manner, or not logical, I guess? But if they're like, well, you know, if this actor or this scene, this is why blah blah blah, this doesn't work. And maybe it's something you didn't really care or see at first, but could you be open to the influence post?
Yes, I definitely. And the only reason why I'm open to that is because Jen, you and RC, we've all had this conversation before, probably even on this podcast, where it bothers me when people say that they think of something as bad and they can't objectively explain tell you why. Right.
Stupid.
If they're just like, no, it was garbage, it's trash. Well, then why is it trash? It just is. Well, then you don't sound like you know what you're talking about. You sound like you're just you're regurgitating someone else's bullshit. Like, why don't you like the movie? Well, what did they do that The Last of Us Part 2? RC, that's a big one that we've talked about numerous times where people were just going on and on about it's horrible. I'm like, this is Naughty Dog. The Last of Us Part 1 is one of the greatest games of all time. You're telling me they fucked up the sequel? Well, how? What did they do? Well, I don't like that the main character, something happened to him. I don't like that the person that did it is trans. Like, I get you don't agree with it, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah. I would definitely be open though to I just want people to tell me why they don't like stuff. I hate it when people are just like, it's garbage, it's trash. Well, why? I need you to be able to explain that.
Well, that's, I think, a point in the favor of having an appointed reviewer versus public opinion, because they assumingly would have experience and training in how to formulate thoughts around an opinion and to be able to outline it in a specific or readable way versus public with generally saying, nah, it was fucking trash.
Yeah. But the other big thing that reviewers do that they tend to do a lot is whenever it's any sort of a game, they always try to compare it to something else, right? Outriders is a victim of that right now, where people are saying, oh, it's basically the Destiny version of Gears of War.
Right.
And I get it. I understand why they generalize it so easy, because it gets the point across kind of quickly. And they're not necessarily wrong, but I wish there was a better way to explain that.
Yeah, you know I mean, I agree with that. And I, like you said, I get why the comparisons are made, because if I'm using reviews as a tool to influence my purchase, if I'm a Gears of War fan, I would like to know the foundation, at least at the start, like this is going to feel like Gears of War. So now I have a foundation to start forming an opinion if this is going to be something I'm going to purchase. Because if I'm not a Gears of War fan, then I know, well, I could maybe stop reading and just know this isn't going to be a game for me. Mass Effect is a huge one where that game gets so much praise, but it's just not a game that I'm into.
Right.
So I can agree. I can agree on the positive points of it. Like, oh my God, the storytelling in that, the branching dialogues is revolutionary for when that first came out. I get it. I can see why it gets the scores, but it's just not for me. So if another game were to come out recently and they're like, oh, this plays a lot like Mass Effect, I know I'm like, okay, I'm already leaning to this is probably not going to be a purchase I'll be making. So I do like the information that comes with comparison in reviews.
Sometimes I do, but there are other times where it's just, for the love of God, if I hear another reviewer or just anyone in general when any sort of open world game comes out, they're like, it's basically Breath of the Wild. Like, bro, like, there were thousands of open worlds before Breath of the Wild. Like, why is that the go-to comparison now? I hate to break it to people, but Breath of the Wild really, it didn't even do open world that well. Like, it did open world okay. The weapon system is garbage. I don't know why they thought the Master Sword should be limited. What the fuck? Okay, I'm not gonna go off on that, but yeah, like
we have not appointed Rick to be our Zelda reviewer. This dude likes Majora's Mask as his favorite.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Because we've already talked about that. I changed my mind. Now it really is a close battle between Ocarina and Link to the Past. It's those. Those are my two favorites, and and I'll even throw in a wrench and throw in a little bit of Oracle of Ages too. Oracle of Ages was amazing.
We'll save that for the great Zelda debate of 2021.
That's going to be a good one. I cannot wait to record that one. I can hear Craig just going like, "You stupid bitch." Just calling you all kinds of names. And that's going to be a good one.
One other area of where reviews, I think, play a huge role in things is our dining experiences and the food that we eat. How often are you guys utilizing reviews for that? And where do you see the differences in food and restaurant reviews versus some of the other things we've been talking about?
Well, Rick, if you don't mind, I'll start this one first.
Oh, yeah, you definitely have restaurants.
Yeah. I would consider myself a very healthy eater.
Okay.
Honestly, but to a point where I could call myself a foodie, no. Okay. Because honestly, I don't really use reviews on restaurants that much. Not unless, here we go again, not unless I had a bad experience with them.
Right.
And that happened maybe a few times in my life. That's why I ordered something and the food just wasn't good. It was just fucking trash. So I'll go look up the reviews, see what's going on. It's like, if I'm not mad, I'll leave a negative review too and keep moving.
Mm-hmm. Or pound on their door at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Look,
man. You probably want to bring that up no more, right? We don't talk about that no more.
Bread. What's all these damn fifth graders?
Cold. Oh man.
Guys,
could you imagine seeing RC like he's like if they give him cold fries or something like that, then he goes back and they're like, "Sorry, sir, we're out of fries," or something like that. Then he just John Wicks the whole building. Like,
on today's news, Ryan Carter, a disgruntled man, upset about fries. More at 8.
Yeah.
I'm not a foodie, but fuck this place.
Yeah. Or he's either going to be John Wick or he's going to be Frank Castle, and he's just going to just start spraying everywhere.
Yeah, I would.
I don't want to take it
Frank
that far. I don't want to take it that far, man. Come on, man.
That's hilarious. But
RC, so like. I don't know I don't think you've really traveled a whole lot. So like your area where you stay and you live, like you've explored a lot of the food spots around you. So I could see not really reaching out on reviews to really influence where you're going to eat for lunch. But like you went to Vegas kind of recently, and I think that was your first or second time or going there.
First, yeah.
So it was a new area for you. You never looked up spots to go and then checked out reviews while you spent your time there?
No, I will just
like this strip club is better. They got better hoes and
yeah, about that. Yeah, that's another story for another time. I'll tell you.
That is funny.
Off of the podcast. Anyway, yeah. When it came to food and drinks, man, I'll just spontaneously just go anywhere.
Okay.
Like if it looked interesting, I'll just go there, just check it out. Right.
It probably gives you a better experience of the area doing it that way.
Yeah. At the same time, yeah. So I'm sorry, I can't remember because I don't eat it all the time. That area, the restaurant there that got like the monster sauce you put on the burgers.
I don't remember.
That's not In-N-Out, is it?
Oh,
yeah, is it?
Well, In-N-Out has their own like special sauce, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it called like monster sauce?
They have the animal style.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got that wrong. But yeah, I've been to In-N-Out out there. First time having it. I enjoyed it. I think it was a little hyped up, honestly.
Oh, it definitely. It looks hyped up. It looks
Yeah,
like
but
a
It's fire. It's fire. Don't listen. to
no.
him.
I'm
It's
about to
fire.
say, yeah, it was definitely hyped up, but like I definitely enjoyed it, and I think that's when you told me, Genesis, about getting that animal style
Mm-hmm.
burger next time I go out there. So when I do, I'll try that out and see how it is. So
Yeah, because that's secret menu, so it's not even you wouldn't even see that on the menu or know to try that if you were
I
just
asked
going
for
there
it.
out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah. So I tried some other places out too, man. I mean, shit out there is fucking expensive, but I still have a fun time.
Yeah, and see if it is expensive, and that's where I sort of use food reviews is
Okay.
because I don't want to waste $50 steak if I can see general opinion on it is these steaks are not great at this particular restaurant or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Especially in a new area. I mean, when I first moved out to California, I had to basically live off of reviews just to get a sense of like where the spots were. Now, it probably would have been a more memorable adventure if I just dropped myself off in the middle of some area and then just tried stuff, you know, that could have been a more memorable experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. I don't think I ever follow restaurant reviews, but I do follow hotel reviews. Like,
oh, okay.
You know, like if I'm going out of town, like we just came back from Florida last week, and the first thing I was doing, like, bro, check them hotel reviews. I'm not waking up to no bumps on my arms from bed bugs. I'm not waking up to that
too. Yeah, so yeah.
I'm not waking up to any of that shit. So please make sure, you know, that stuff. But food, same thing. You know, while we were out there, we were just looking at places and all right, cool. That's what we're eating for dinner. That's what we're going for lunch. It was never like, oh, let me check Yelp or some shit like that. I'm only like that with video games and the occasional movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Anything else, I'll just kind of gamble with.
So you would rather gamble with life-sustaining materials than just the content you enjoy as entertainment. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is when you say it like that, it sounds silly, but I think a big part of that is because usually when I look at if I do see a food review, it's almost always user error or operator error, whatever you want to call it. It's always shit like
they didn't eat it right.
No, it was shit like they didn't give us napkins and the person was rude.
Yeah.
I don't care how the person acts. Just cook the shit right. And even if they don't cook it right, it's not like I can go back and give them the food and be like, hey, this wasn't great. This isn't cooked all the way through. Can you fix that? And they'll do it. Whereas a video game, when you spend $60 on a game and it's bad, more than likely you're stuck with that game. There are return policies at some places and stuff like that, but you're pretty much stuck with it. Which is why, like, I love Game Pass. You know, that shit's incredible. And then the companies are getting better with their return policy for digital purchases.
How do you return a burger after you ate it?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you bite a burger one time, you should know if a burger is not cooked all the way through with one bite. You know, like if you take a bite and that shit, you can still hear the cow mooing. It's probably not done. You know, like it's not.
Wait a minute, Rick. How do you like your steaks cooked?
I usually go medium.
Okay.
I like a little pink, not too much pink, but a little pink.
I thought this asshole was gonna be like fucking well done with ketchup.
No, God, no, I'm not a serial killer with ketchup. Oh. No, dude, no. I
had a hard time swallowing after hearing that shit. Damn.
Oh man, do you remember the first time you went to a decent, like a fancy spot? You ordered steak, and then, like an asshole, you asked for A1 sauce. They looked at you like, my guy.
What, excuse me, sir? What?
They look at you like, my guy. This isn't the hood. We don't have A1 sauce. What is that?
I remember I did that shit like when I was working as a purchasing manager, and like a client they were trying to sell me their product. So they would take me out to like lunches all the time and to influence me to buy their product, basically. So I'm like fucking young as shit. And they took me out to this fancy steak place. It was like Wagyu beef steak or something like that. And it was like okay, this shit looks fire. I'm gonna get that. And then I ordered I was like, can I get some A1 sauce? And they just fucking looked at me like, that's Wagyu. Like you don't fuck with A1 sauce with that shit.
Yeah.
Super embarrassed. Never happened again after that moment.
Now I will say though that's not to despair anyone from one. If you want A1 sauce on there, you go ahead and do that, because you know how I feel about Chicago. Chicago will tell you all day you can't put ketchup on a hot dog. Fuck you. I'll put whatever I want on my hot dog. I'll order the biggest Chicago style dog I want and lather that shit with ketchup if I want to.
Just know you have the freedom of choice, but not freedom of consequence.
Right. Because when I leave that establishment, someone's gonna stab me.
Yeah, they're gonna give you funny looks, and you're gonna get stabbed as you walk out. You fucking put ketchup on your hot dog.
Oh, nice accent. Okay,
I haven't lost it completely.
This guy, but yeah, yeah, food reviews. That's one thing. I don't really follow food reviews at all. I'd rather just roll the dice on that.
He knows it sounds silly now.
Yeah. Hotels, though, that's no.
Right, exactly. You're worried about fucking bed bugs on your hotels, but you're not worried about food poisoning?
No, because, I've only had food poisoning once, and it was that. Well, I'm not going to say the establishment, but
it was the day that the supply of wipes went gone.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. That day, you know what? The day my very first time, and I think my only time experiencing food poisoning was the day The Walking Dead premiered, like the very first season 1, episode 1.
Oh wow!
And I'm dying. Like, I mean, my stomach, I was like, bro, is this the end? I'm looking up at Jesus like, bro, I'm ready, man. This is it. Let's go.
I'm about to be a zombie.
And meanwhile, Jody was also not feeling well, but she's taking it like an absolute champ. She's sitting there like, yeah, my stomach hurts, but I'll live. Meanwhile, I'm in a fetal position when I'm not on the toilet. Mm-hmm. I'm in the bed like, I'm... But as men, I think, maybe this could just be me. But when I don't feel well, I'm the biggest baby in the world. I need you to rub my back, give me some ginger ale.
Yeah, that seems to be a men thing. Yeah. We are not tough if we are sick.
No, not at all. Not at all. I get a little bit of a sneeze, and I'm like, oh, hold me.
Oh God!
And I'm not ashamed of it either.
Now, after that experience, though, you didn't feel like you should leave that restaurant review to save others and be a hero like RC is?
I thought about it. So, because it was one of two places. It was either because we had Dunkin' Donuts that morning, and then for like a late lunch, we had TGI Fridays. And I'm pretty sure it was the TGI Fridays.
Yeah, I think it was Dunkin'.
Really?
Yeah, how you gonna get sick of a donut?
See that right? That's why I didn't want to leave a review like just fucking please give me a thing, and then come to find out, no, it was definitely a donut.
This fucking place gave you the clap. What?
Yeah, like I had to marry the damn toilet because of how long I was on top of that thing. Like I don't want to say that on TGI Fridays, and then actuality,
Now, if you could have read the review on that particular location of TGI Fridays and you've seen a bunch of people say, oh my God, we got food poisoning after eating there, you would have still gambled your life. All user error. They got sick themselves.
Oh my goodness. RC, didn't Jay have like a big problem with that Chipotle but close by the house?
I don't remember.
He was having like real severe. He had real bad food poisoning, and I'm pretty sure it was the Chipotle that's near my house. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there was reviews and stuff there. Because, well, first of all, everything in Madison is trash. Like I'm just gonna say that. If you're listening to this, and if Kurt, you're from Madison, all the food is awful. The people who work in these places are usually shitbags. Yeah, where they don't care, but. I wonder if a review would have saved Jay from that.
I'm going there.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Possibly.
That's hard to say.
Good point. That's a good point.
Yeah,
But then
the
Jay
fucked up
doesn't.
thing with food poisoning though is that's like it could have been a bad cook, it could have been just a single incident. So then it's easy to gamble on reading a review of like I got food poisoning there because
Well,
like you said, you don't know. It's hard to pinpoint where you even got it from, so you
Well,
lose a little bit of credibility there.
I don't know about this particular scenario because that particular Chipotle has had quite a few issues
Yeah.
with food poisoning.
Well, yeah, if a pattern develops, sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why it would be good to read the reviews of the food places.
Dude, I had that place. It was probably 2 years now. Last time I had that particular Chipotle, I took a bite into some barbacoa, and the meat was so tough and stuck together. I was like, they clearly didn't cook this shit all the way through. They let it sit in there for a hot second and took it out and was like, it's ready to go. Same thing with the Buffalo Wild Wings down the street, where I took a bite into the chicken and the chicken was still cold.
Oh, hell.
Like the internal
no.
part. This shit almost made me vomit.
Nope.
I was like, bro. Now if I had read a review, that I could have avoided both of those.
Right.
So it's people like RC that save this country. Okay?
Exactly, right? That's why he's a fucking hero.
I'm just saying. But then there's
my due diligence.
there's idiots like me who don't read the shit that he's saving us with. So, who's really the loser in this situation?
It's you.
That's fair.
Now, are there things out there as consumers that there should be more reviews on, or that you think would be interesting to have a market of reviews for X product or industry?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. I can't really think of none.
Like, you mean like what's something that needs to be reviewed but isn't?
Yeah, something along those lines. Like if you went to the grocery store and you have some of these technologies now that we're starting to see where, there's no registers or anything. You just walk, the Amazon grocery stuff where you could just walk out and it charges your phone. But now what about if there were, as you're shopping, you see holograms of like stars on all the products that are there?
I knew this. I knew you were going with some Black Mirror type shit. I could feel it as you're saying it. But keep going.
No, I'm just saying, like, how heavy dictated would our lives be if everything fucking had reviews? Like, if you were like in the grocery store and you were seeing, okay, this brand of cereal has 1 star and then the one next to it has 5 star. Like, is that just the next step in capitalism? Or
I mean, it's close. But you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of Black Mirror, I feel like, and also speaking of a previous episode where, it starts to get into that area of too much freedom, because then you're going to get assholes that are like, I'm going to review bomb these bell peppers because I hate the CEO supported Trump. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right,
We don't know. So could you trust that? That would be cool as shit to see a hologram pop up for a banana, and it's like, these bananas are ripe in the next 2 days or something. Like, that kind of shit would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Actual reviews, like you see some comment that's like, these yellow bananas look like pit. You know what I mean?
Like too yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much yellow.
You go, exactly. I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds cool, but humans are flawed creatures, man. I don't know if we could handle something like that and not fuck with it.
What about like extravagant purchases, like a car?
I was just about to bring up homes.
Yeah,
especially during COVID time, like how we still got a whole group of people not really ready to go out there in society and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I could definitely see another group of people who are not afraid to go out there actually going to the homes that's for sale and taking a ton of pictures and just giving it like their personal opinion on whether it's worth the price or not, or things that need to be fixed up or things that are damaged.
This exists now, or are you talking about this would be?
No, just some in the future, man. Because I don't think there is a website that's doing that right now.
I know, like apartments, I utilize reviews on apartment searching, but yeah, when you go to purchase a home, how could you? Yeah, that would be cool to know that kind of stuff. A major purchase like that.
Yeah.
They kind of do something like that already with CarMax, with the Carfax, right? Where it's like a history report of the vehicle and like how many accidents it's been in, when it was purchased, the last time it had an oil change, rotors changed, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it would be cool for something like that for a house.
Yeah, but that's still just a history. I feel like you can get the history on a house purchase. That's why they have to, like, don't they have to tell you if somebody's been murdered or died in the house?
Yeah, but that's it though. Like they don't tell you like, hey, the water pump broke like 2 weeks ago. They probably don't tell you shit like that.
This house was built in the 70s and these rooms probably need to be updated to a modern day look or whatever.
My parents' house, whenever it rains just a little bit harder than usual, the basement completely is drenched in water. You can see the water, spilling out from the windows and shit in their basement. So, and that was never mentioned to them at all. A couple of the bedroom windows have little holes in them, so you feel the wind kind of coming through in the winter. None of that shit was mentioned before they bought the house.
Yeah. And that's why you have inspectors that you have to basically buy, and they're essentially your reviewer. Yeah, your personal reviewer.
But that's also a scary situation because I think, if I remember correctly, I think my parents found out that the guy that was the inspector for their house, he ended up being on like the same softball team or some shit with the guy who owned the place before.
Oh shit! So
some deep shit. Yeah, some deep connection type shit. And my parents are still kind of like, they feel like they kind of got screwed on that house because there's a decent amount of problems there that a normal inspector would have caught.
Yeah, I'd be interested, anybody that's listening to this that has gone through the process of purchasing a house, to outline some of the things that we might be missing when it comes to house buying and in relation to reviews. I mean, RC, you bought a condo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, correct.
So I don't know if that is completely separate from house purchasing, but I mean, did you see any history or reviews in that purchase? Like area?
Well, I know this place had like one owner before and everything. The mother of the guy who's selling it passed away, but not in this location, in the hospital. So then he just put up a sale because she wasn't living here no more. And luckily, thanks to one of my friends who was a realtor during the time, she helped me find this place, and I went and checked it out and made a purchase. Now, of course, I have a mortgage, instead of rent. So everything that's going in its place, I have to take care of, which I like. And I don't have to worry about no landlord coming in with a master key about to rummage through my damn game collection and shit because that's shot. But anyway, so like everything here is all me. So, and I got like, just 3 other neighbors. So, yeah.
Now, would you leave a review? Like if you went to sell this, if there was an outlet, would you leave a review on the house or the area that you live in or anything like that?
You know why I'm laughing? Because if I would leave a review, I would leave some things out.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's some things in here that need to be repaired that I didn't get repaired yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I could live with it, but it's like, oh yeah, this definitely needs to be repaired.
Now, and then touching back on like vehicle purchases, though, like that's something you're spending, $15,000 and up essentially on a brand new car. I mean, I wish a lot of the cars that I bought, I wish I would have tried to find forums at least, because I don't know of any like major outlet that does reviews on vehicles in the same way I would read a review on video games. But like, there's some shit when you do the test drive, like where the placement of the volume button or, things like that, where man, that I might have chose a different car after having experience driving it for even just a few months. That I'm like, fuck, this is just annoying. And it would have been nice to like read something like somebody else's experience of time they spent with something like that.
And I think in this case, especially when it comes to cars, I usually rely on video reviews.
Oh, okay. So that stuff does exist.
Yeah. At least for cars, yes. There's definitely a lot of people doing video reviews of like just everyday cars. You get the whole 360 look of it, the inside, what they think about the feature, what it could do, how fast it goes, everything. And those reviews usually last like, I'll say 15 to 25 minutes per car, depending on how expensive it is or how many accessories it comes equipped with.
And is it more like for consumers to influence a purchase decision, or is it more like showcasing the product?
I don't mean to be that guy, but honestly, both.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if you really look at them, like, yeah, they actually showing off the car so they can get the reviews and everything, but they inform you of everything what the car is capable of and how it looks. Yeah, and then once you look at it and you don't like that video, you go click off of it, but they got your click already for you clicking on it just to watch it. So
right.
It's like I guess a win-win in a sense.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because the way I'm imagining is like a virtual car show. You see it spinning around in the 3D view, and you're looking at all the sexiness of it, rather than like functional and utility factors of what it means to have a car just to drive from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. Imagine back in the day if they gave reviews on like horses.
Oh man, this thoroughbred
is
right
a lazy
here.
bitch. This thoroughbred.
Oh man,
Rick wouldn't read the review. He'd get a fucking dumbass horse that just like wants to constantly kick him and bite him. God damn it.
Definitely check out the reviews, because it's funny that you brought that up too, because I'm actually, I would say in the market, but I'll say about next year, I may want to get another car, but I'm going to go down the road and get a leased vehicle now.
And you're pretty brand loyal, so I don't know if that is the same with vehicles, but
yeah, I had nothing but like Fords and Chryslers all my life. I think it's about time for me to step outside my comfort zone and get something foreign.
And you think you'd utilize reviews in navigating that?
Yes, because I got several cars already picked out, and now I'll just look at the reviews, and I'm pretty sure if I get it by next year, it'll be the 2022 model, which probably not going to be that much of a difference compared to 2021. So
look at this guy, 2022. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, man, get it leased and everything, man. I know I'm going to switch up, or want to switch up vehicles like every 3 or 3.5 years. So
see, I'm on the other side of that, where I'm driving a 2017 now, and I love my car. I'm about to turn this shit into like the Batmobile, basically. Like I've got it's a black car. I'm getting the black rims. I'm gonna get the little tiny black spoiler, get the windows tinted. And that's gonna be the car, because I'm only like a year away from paying it off completely.
Yeah.
I think a little over a year. And then my parents,
you're a fucking adult with fucking 2 daughters. What are you doing pimping out a ride?
Well, now don't make it sound like I'm neglecting my children. I have enough money to do both, sir.
It's not a money thing. It's just like, you fucking grow. What the fuck you mean? I'm gonna get my black rims. I'm gonna get.
Okay, maybe I wasn't clear. It's not going to be like, I'm not getting the Batmobile logo or some shit like that on it. It's just going to be basic black rims, and it's not going to be super shiny. It's just going to be black, all black. Though. You got to do all black.
You got to look good when you're going between all the GameStops to check the deals, right?
Oh my goodness. No. Well, the reason why I was bringing that up is because I don't think my parents, I think my sister, and I think my dad actually, I'm sorry, not my dad, my aunt, they all lease their cars. And they're in the same mindset of like, you want to switch it up every 3-4 years. I just don't want to pay a car note anymore. Like, I want to own it and be done with it.
I feel like leases are also for people that know how to take care of their shit. And I do not fall into that category.
Well, I can take care of my car. It's just a matter of, again, it's really just that I don't want to pay that note. I want to own it and be done with it. And then once it gets close to like that 7-8 year mark, then I'll think about maybe trading this one in or something. But I love my car. I've had it for 4 years now. I've had no issues with it other than the broken window. But
now, how did you get this car, or how did you know to get this car?
What do you mean?
Like, what influenced your purchase of this particular car?
I'm probably the most American, like un-American on the planet. Like I don't like buying. I'm saying that to say I don't like buying American things for the most part.
Okay.
So ultimately, what swayed my decision was it wasn't an American car. And I really truly believe that American cars are gas guzzlers for a reason. And I don't want this fancy ass car if I have to put $100 into it in gas every week. So the biggest thing was that the gas consumption, the fact that it's a Toyota, and Toyotas are very, very reliable. My last car was a Toyota, and I drove that car to hell and back. Had no issues with it. Only reason why I got this new car was because it was new. the newer model, which I mean, I guess leasing would have been a good idea for that. But now at that point, it made sense. But currently, like I said, I just want to own it and just be done with it.
Yeah.
It's a great car. I wish the trunk was a little bigger, but other than that, love it.
That all could be put together and formulated to a review on that particular car, right?
Going on Toyota's website and be like, I love the Corolla 2017, but it really needs a bigger trunk space.
It needs a bigger trunk.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're going to be like, why do you need a bigger trunk space, sir? Next thing, I'm on a list. And I got people watching me want to know why I need a bigger trunk.
Fucking watch list.
Keep an eye on that asshole. We got to figure out
like what's going on with him and everything.
Right. Here's where the bodies are.
Oh, my God.
The other thing I wanted to bring up before we sort of wrap things up, this industry or product, I think, Rick, you have a lot of experience with, and I don't know if there's necessarily any real central area for reviews to be based on this, but what about like banking options?
Oh, you're such an asshole. Such an asshole. Such an asshole. Okay. So, okay, I have to explain this because I feel like I can't be the only one out there. Okay, I know I'm not. I have 2 bank accounts. Okay, I don't know why that's so strange to some people.
No,
but I have.
No, not 2 bank accounts. Specific, like, go ahead. It's 2 banks.
Yeah, well, they're both. Well, no. Well, they both have account numbers, and they both.
Yeah, you can have multiple. It's normal to have multiple accounts within a single bank.
One bank, yeah. I see what Genesis is doing.
Wait, but I don't. If it's okay to have multiple accounts in the same bank, what makes it different for 2 separate banks for 2 separate accounts? Like, I don't understand why. Why is that?
That's why go through the trouble of having
separate. Don't you go through some trouble to make a separate account in the same bank?
No, it's actually really easy.
It's also really easy to go to another bank and open an account. Like I don't understand what's the problem. Like you just walk into a second bank. It's not like you open your first account and then you're tethered to that bank forever. It's like, no, you can't go into Chase Bank ever again. You're only allowed.
Is that your reasoning? Is you don't want to be tied down?
No, it's not that. It's just
I'm not committed to this bank.
No, I got
a side bank.
I have one strictly for bills, and then I have one that I use to, mess around with.
But the 2 talk to each other, right?
No, it's 2 separate. It's 2 separate.
I thought you transfer from one to the other.
Well, you can through Zelle. You're just making it more confusing. No, it's one where the direct deposits go to. That's where all the money's sent to, right? I used to have it where like 20% of my check would go to my play money, and the other 80 would go to bills, right?
Which are set up in 2 separate banks.
Yes,
across the way from each other in the town.
But it's still 2 separate account numbers, so it's 2 separate either way. Like just because the one says one name and the other says a different name, that's literally the only difference.
Well, they're where are they located?
I mean, yeah, it's 2 separate locations, but it's still 2 separate account numbers either way you do it. So I'm really not understanding what's so hard to grasp about that. Like I don't get why.
I mean, it's
not. I don't get it. It's just look. It's one's play money and one's for the important stuff. Because first of all, okay, it's widely known that I'm an idiot. Okay, so I don't want to be. I don't want it to be like I don't want to have 2. Like let's say I have a Chase account, right? I have 2 Chase accounts, but like a dummy, both of my debit cards look the same, or I forget which Chase card is for business and which is for play, right? Then I sign up for Netflix or Hulu or some shit, and then they charge me when I need the money. Like I'm not rich, so obviously I need to make sure that I have money for the bills. I feel like it's easier to know. Okay, U.S. Bank is specifically for bills. Chime is specifically for play. Like it's not. I really don't understand what's hard.
So you need like one card to be red, one card to be green in order to function.
No. There's a difference between function and practicality. It's just, why would I open myself up to accidentally do something when it's just easier to just prevent it altogether from ever happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If again, I'm an idiot. I will never dispute that. I'm 100% an idiot. So it is very possible for me to go with the wrong Chase card or the wrong US bank card when I could just go to a completely different institution.
Yeah.
And never have to worry about that.
Yeah. So when you open up the third one?
There is no third one. There will not be a third one.
He says that shit now.
You know what? I'm going to open up a third account, and it's specifically going to be the Fuck with Genesis fund. And that money is going to go to pulling pranks on you on a regular basis, like Sage level prank.
You know, that's funny. He's using that as an example to be funny because it does sound ridiculous to open up a bank for a specific reason, which is what he already fucking did.
What?
You opened up a bank, a brand new bank, a different location for a specific reason. And so the fact that you just used that same reasoning as a joke, it means you understand the silliness of what you did.
No. I'm not saying that the whole reason is a joke. I'm saying the idea of opening the account for the joke is the joke, not the actual opening the third bank account. I will absolutely open up a third bank account if
groceries.
If it's necessary, yeah. If I feel like it's necessary, sure. If I'm in a situation where I'm going to the bank and if I make the mistake, right, or not the bank, but if I go to the store and if I make the mistake of using the wrong card for whatever reason, like if I'm in a rush and I accidentally give them the wrong card, then I'm going, if it's necessary and I feel like, all right, I don't want that to happen again because I got fucked on that, I'll open up a third account. And we didn't even go in the area of the credit cards.
Oh no.
Oh no, we didn't. Oh,
no. Well, see, now the credit cards I don't touch, right? Mm-hmm. They're strictly for emergencies only, right?
I feel like credit cards are a good area for people to utilize public opinion and reviews on, right? Because you have like a lot of like hidden fees and shit like that
and benefits as well.
Yeah, the benefits, on the company. Like all the points and shit that you can get from certain places, and
credit cards are definitely, because there are a few. Like I know if people could read a review on TCF Bank, I know they may not be in business as long as they have been.
Right.
I think TCF, that may be a Midwest thing. I'm not sure if that's out in Cali.
Yeah, but it's not a major chain, which I think means that there should be an opportunity for a place for reviews of the kind of, when you have like these establishments that can range from big corporate or to small local area things, then it means that there's many choices to be had. And when there comes choices, that means we need help possibly with somebody taking the time to go through all that stuff and seeing where we can make a choice on what's best for the particular individual.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, going into this topic, I mean, we kind of wanted to talk about the positive and negatives, but it sounds to me, I mean, it is a tool that is very useful in utility for most things that we consume or enjoy. I don't know if I mean, there's problems within the system, sure, but I mean, I don't think we came to a conclusion that reviews are completely terrible and they should be done away with.
No, I think reviews should stay for sure, right? I feel like there is good to being able to see other people's opinions, but I think people should also try not to be hung up on reviews either.
Right.
Like, don't base your entire opinion on something that you haven't experienced yourself based on someone else's opinion.
But if it is a tool that can be used for pre-purchase of something, then that is what you're using it for.
Yeah.
Without experiencing it yourself, you're kind of going off of somebody else's experience.
Yeah. Well, now, so I'm on the side of, I think you should read a review, but if it's something that you were interested in already, I still think you should try it yourself.
Sure.
But find a way to do it where the loss of money or whatever is the lowest. Like if there's still a rental store near you or GameFly or Netflix, or wait for it to come out.
Is GameFly even a thing anymore?
Yeah, it's still around.
Yeah, that's definitely still a thing. But yeah, find a way to see for yourself and just See for yourself.
Right.
But
it should be a
doesn't
tool, and tools are used for just helping. It shouldn't be the driving factor.
Yeah, you tell that to so many people out here.
Well, and that's why we have to kind of put a little faith, especially in the ones that we've appointed as the reviewers of products, is that we have to feel like we can trust them, and at the same time being able to take that information and scrutinize it to some degree.
Yeah,
Scrutinize. Yeah, hashtag. What's his name? Kevin or
Tanner?
No, the creator.
Oh, Adam.
Adam, that's it. Adam.
What a guy.
The game is so good.
It's so good. You gotta finish it.
And that game probably gets a lot of shitty reviews because of the style it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard. It is hard to personally recommend those games to other people because it is so different, and it's hard to really explain the magic that it has. Yeah,
that's a large part of the reason why he's making the next game very similar to like a Dead by Daylight, because his normal style of games, it is hard to recommend to someone who isn't, like, if you're not specifically interested in that genre of games, you probably might not. You more than likely won't like it. Whereas everyone can enjoy a multiplayer Dead by Daylight. Everyone can enjoy that style of game. Well, at least because of the multiplayer aspect of it. You probably are more likely to reach a wider audience because multiple people can play it at once, as opposed to just you sitting at your computer getting scared all
well, I hope
time.
he's making it because he is passionate about that genre and whatever he's building, and not simply for audience capturability with that genre specifically.
Well, no, I think it is. I think it is because he said before that this was his main source of income. And he did say that a lot of people prefer to watch Scrutinize as opposed to playing it.
Yeah.
And that translated in sales. He was like, it did not do as well as he needed it to. And because of that, he wanted to switch up. Like, he was working on a new Welcome to the Game. He was working on Rides with Strangers. Both games are very similar to previous work. And he was working on another game called The Last Stop, and all three he either postponed or canceled and focused all on this Welcome to the Game Online, because he needs something that's going to keep players invested into the game and not just buy it, or not just watch YouTubers play it and never buy it themselves.
Right.
Because nobody talks about that for some reason, but that is a very real problem for creators, where if you're making an 8 to 12 hour game and that's the main focus of the game is the story, and people could just watch some other person play it on YouTube, there's no reason for you to buy it yourself now.
Yes, I mean, it can change the way game design is handled as we go forward, as things like streaming becomes important, as like personal content creation with YouTube and walkthroughs and stories. And then you're going to have people in the camp that will never watch any of that stuff, that would like to just experience them themselves. But there is a lot of people that do want to just watch and maybe not have the time to experience them themselves. I mean, how many video game ending videos have you watched, Rick? I know we give you shit for it, but I mean, I get why you would do it.
Yeah, not as many as you think. The amount is on one hand. Like, it's usually just because.
Are we being honest? Or is this motherfucker lying?
No, I'm being honest. It's usually if, like, I think I did it I think it was the first Evil Within was one of them. And it was just because I really was interested in the story, but the game was not great. I just couldn't enjoy it. The gameplay wasn't good enough for me to finish the game, but I really wanted to see the ending. So
I don't know if I would personally recommend any designer or creator to, not pursue something because it might not do well in sales due to it being spoiled or not get into the hands because people would rather watch than play. Because then it's influencing the game design choices. I don't know if I like the idea of somebody. I mean, I get, like, it's a business and you have to make money, but
right.
I don't know. I would hate to see somebody's vision get skewed because of those kind of factors.
Yeah.
I would rather see, like, okay, you do something, the game comes out, you get a bad score, take that feedback to heart and make something else with that. And a lot of times, it's hard to make everybody happy.
Yeah. We've definitely had that talk before with at least as far as, man, I just happened to, I looked over. Oh, never mind.
Damn it! I forgot to tell him to shut off Facebook and news outlets as we recorded.
No, that's not what it was. I just looked over, and Violet's entire index finger is green, and I have no idea how that happened. It's throwing me the hell off.
Well,
Continue.
well, we're about the end of this episode anyway, so it sounds like Rick needs to handle some green finger drama over there.
I just look over and she's got this funny smile on her face. Like, oh my God.
At least it's not red.
True.
Yeah,
but green is scary too, though.
Green is a little scary because where the fuck can that come from?
Yeah, exactly. But it is like a bright green, so it's not poo. It's definitely not poo. It's got something.
Did she get into your plutonium reserves in your basement?
No.
Yeah. I'm snitching.
Mm-hmm. This guy. Oh man.
Well, that about wraps up this episode. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another topic here on the Haven Exchange podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts. I'm Genesis. You can find me on twitch.tv/Genesis_GH to continue the conversation there or just have a good time. I am available on Instagram and Twitter at Genesis_GHN. Hit me up on there as well. Rick, what's going on, man? Where can people find you?
You can definitely follow me on Twitter at Phantom_GHN. I'm still tweeting nonsense. I'm actually about to go through and purge a lot of my people that I'm following, because I'm realizing that I'm following a lot of like random accounts that I've never seen tweet anything. Not really sure how I followed them in the first place. But you definitely follow me there, and you can follow me on twitch.tv/Phantom_GH. I am going to be resuming my Metal Gear Solid series playthrough, I should say, hopefully in the next couple days.
Sweet. Look forward to catching that and seeing you come back on the Twitch scene. Big RC, what's up, man?
Yeah, good acting, by the way, man. Yeah, as always, you guys can catch me at Big RC56 on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Eventually, I will get back on that Twitch, so you can follow me at twitch.tv/BigRC_GH.
Yeah, both of y'all are about to lose my subs if you don't fucking stream soon.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, I do it just because I want those pretty GH emotes you got.
Nice.
This guy. I think I'm because that's right. This episode is going to go up after Easter, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I had plans to stream today, but it looks like the family is trying to do something that I don't want to do. So it looks like that's not happening. Also, real quick, I got to give a shout out to my family. I just found out a few of my family members in California have been listening to the podcast every week. Nice. Thank you all for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Don't tell my mom some of the things that I've said. She may very well never answer my phone call again.
I don't know if you're going to get any invites to the family reunions after they've been finding out more and more about you.
But see, no, because a lot of my lack of movie knowledge and all that, a lot of that stems from my parents' fault because my parents didn't force that stuff on me. Mm-hmm. You know, my parents let me fall into the rabbit holes that I fell into instead of being like, no, Derek, you should experience this. And so it's their fault, really. Take it up with them.
All right, blame his parents is what he's saying. Yeah.
Yep. Basically.
He victim blames everybody. Everybody never blames himself. Dumb bitch. Yeah, we wanted to say thank you to all of you that tuned in and listened to this episode. Tune in next week for a brand new episode featuring an all new topic. right here on the Haven Exchange podcast, where we talk about a little bit of everything and anything that comes up in our fantastic, often interesting minds. I'll say that lightly. But if you would like to have a say in what we talk about next, feel free to leave some topic suggestions in our Discord over at the Gamers Haven Network, or become a member on patreon.com/Haven Exchange. And for as little as $1 a month, you can vote on topics such as, or you can vote on upcoming topics that we plan to record and voice your opinion there. There's lots of cool tiers that we have set up there. Feel free to support us there, just like our gold and silver, or our gold and now diamond tier members, Nerder Shiro and Tech Mod TV. We want to give a huge shout out and thank you for your continued support and helping us continue on with this show. So much love and thank you. With that, some big news as TechMod TV is being a diamond supporter. He will be joining us on a future episode with a topic of his choice. So you can look forward to that episode coming down the line very soon. Excited to have him on the show and talk with him about what he wants to talk about. So that'll be a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you, all our listeners out there. Shout out to the Gamers Haven Network crew for all their support that they give us, and all the fans of the show. I know it's all they're big fans of me. I'm sorry, guys. This is kind of a big deal. So you're welcome. I thought I was going to get some backlash from that. Okay.
No. You will after the podcast's over.
Oh shit! Save me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week. Thanks a lot. We love you.
You'll catch y'all later.
Whoa.
Why could you stop saying the N-word?
You said that last week. Yeah.
I said that last week?
Yeah, that was last week. So you got to come. All right, quick.
Okay.
New one.
Ryan, Black History Month is all year long, not just the 1 month. You can't get rid of the 1 month.
This is the Haven Exchange.